Okay. I didn't realize he was doing that.
Morning, James. Good. Here, I'll put you on speakerphone here. Okay, you're on.
Hi, James. Morning.
Hey, yeah. Now, I figured you guys would publicly make fun of the city lawyer, saying he didn't quite have the vehicle maybe to brave the roads to get there this morning. Well, you guys want to go into a quick executive session? I don't have a lot of updates, but we do need to discuss the pilots.
Okay. How long do we need?
Oh, I think it'll take 15 minutes.
Till 9:30.
Okay, we'll go ahead until 9:30 then. I make a motion, we go into executive session until 9:30.
Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Pose
Aye.
same sign? Good. Okay.
So, yes, no action taken as a result of the executive session. And by way of update, we don't have the footprint yet from NextEra Energy, waiting on that. And from that, we can also deem the density study. So we're waiting on that from them, from NextEra. And maybe you guys can give us an update on that.
Well, I think one thing that we were going to request from James, you specifically, is the exclusion areas that were referenced. So I think maybe some information about what you had in mind would be helpful on our end, in defining the final footprint, I think. Just so we don't, handle the footprint and then it's another turn of the document about which areas you wanted to call out in the Exhibit A.
I see.
I mean, we're happy to do it either way, where we're the first to propose something and then you can come back with your comments. I just kind of wanted to bring that up.
If we were to use the map that you've got up on the wall right now as kind of a reference point, the one exclusion area that we were wondering about was the crop dusting business that you have here. What is a reasonable setback? I mean, we're balancing interest here, and so you have landowners that want to participate, but yet we have a business that's in place. And I know that's very important to you folks. We just want to make sure that we're communicating back and forth and making sure that we make our plans match your exclusion points too. So the airport, and then any of the incorporated cities or villages that you want us to set back from. Just give us an idea what would be reasonable for you, and we can start our plans. And then that goes to the density study then also, because I've started the density study as far as it goes. Most of the density areas, or most of the houses that you see are out in the rural areas, they're pretty standard with the three or four per section. But then you get around some of the cities and you start getting dots of populated areas around those cities too. So if we exclude that, that's going to give you a better reference point for a density study for the area too.
And I don't know if we were planning, at least initially, to get that specific with regards to, other,
Okay.
I don't think so. I think what we'd like to do is see your plan, and then determine if we need to fine tune that to protect the interests of those in communities, to protect the interest of those with the airfield.
Okay.
But I think see your plan, because we're kind of having a difficult time going forward with some of the terms that we would propose, even with the pilot agreement.
Okay.
Until we actually get the footprint of the density
so,
study.
So yeah, we can do that and then, okay.
All right, that's a good thing we were talking,
Right.
because that's important.
Right, okay,
I don't
great.
think if you're going to stay close to your footprint there, I don't think our exclusion area would be that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
Okay.
question that I did have though is it pretty standard to have a 2-mile deal around cities?
It is.
Generally, it's a mile around any city. The 2 miles, if you're going both sides, I mean, a mile this side, a mile that side, you set back more than a mile from any city, you're really looking at the growth potential for any city that you have. Is that you wouldn't want to put a wind farm in an area that had the potential to have subdivisions and growth and those kind of things. It's just planning 101. And so if a city's going to grow, usually it grows concentrically from the from the core outwards, so that mile setback or so would accommodate any future growth.
And a lot of that depends on the cities too. So
Yeah,
those that are
exactly.
zoned oftentimes will exercise their 2-mile radius
Exactly.
to institute zoning and regulations within that, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to, airspace, if you will. Is that not all dictated by federal aviation regulations,
That is correct.
by which none of us have any control over?
And they're closed right now. Yeah, so, wait.
So
Are you
what, Mark,
referencing-
you say they're closed?
Are you
The
referencing
federal
the
government, the
subsidy?
FAA, so.
Yes,
Okay.
right there.
So-
Yeah, those two strips.
Right.
Yeah. The FAA regulates all airspace issues, so that doesn't come to the county, that actually we have to make application, and they have to deem our application as, make a determination of no hazard for the aviation areas. So that really isn't a land use issue per se, that's an airspace issue.
So,
Kind of to add to that point, and with, when we do have the new boundary that we're gonna bring forward, so we can start the negotiation, that does take into account the recent input that we've received from our FAA attorneys, those that assist us with the FAA, and also we have consultants who provide their own recommendations based on their expertise. I will say that the input that we got from those two parties were significantly less than what is spelled out in the green boundary. However, I think, taking the input we've gotten from them, I think we're more concerned about coming into agreement with the county and kind of what works best for, the business owner. So even though we've gotten one recommendation from our legal team, we'd much rather come to an agreement with everyone as a whole. So that's when I come back and we are gonna show kind of new boundary. That's gonna be based on what we feel, certainly works with the FAA, but also what we feel would be best for everyone, the continued operation of that business, and as well as the surrounding landowners, so.
You want to talk about your trip?
yes.
Looks like all the local media here, so we
Yeah.
can explain that. You just want me to go ahead and
Yeah, that'd be great, Brad. You can do it.
Tomorrow the county commissioners are planning on taking a trip to Reno County and Pratt
And
County
Pratt.
to meet with county commissioners, to probably observe the wind farms, I'm guessing. So because, of course, anytime they would get together in a vehicle, it would constitute, if they were to discuss county business, that would constitute an open meeting. They will not be doing so in the vehicle. Any discussion would actually be during a public session with the Reno County or Pratt County Commissioners. The only exception would be Mr. Neal, their attorney, is planning on meeting them. I think once they get closer to the location, and he'll be riding with them. If there's any discussion once he's in the vehicle, we'll go into executive session to discuss any legal matters.
Mary Kay's coming with us.
And county clerk will be with them as well. She'll take notes, make sure that they adhere to that.
Which county commissioners are you gonna go visit?
Pratt at Reno.
Pratt and Reno.
Any other questions concerning that? I have invited Dwight Cruz, by the way.
I don't think he's coming.
Oh, really? Okay.
Talked to him last night.
Okay, great. I hadn't heard from him. He said he'd love to, but I was gonna wait till.
Well, he
he's-
told me last night, he was at Bingo, and he said he had
Yeah, okay.
several
I
other
didn't-
things
I
that
just
come up, and
wanted
so
to-
far as he knows right then, he said, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be able to.
Yeah,
make it."
okay.
He's got 2 doctor's appointments that he thinks unless he can get his brother to cover for him to take his mom, like, he said he probably can't. do
Yeah,
it, but
okay.
The other,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, Gillen.
I was going to ask, will you be meeting with those county commissions in their entirety?
No,
No.
one. We'll
Okay.
meet with one of their county commissioners.
So just be aware that Reno County has quite a bit of difference in perspective in their 3 county commissioners on this whole topic, so. just-
Well, we're just
I'm sure
gonna meet
you're aware
with
of
one commissioner in both the counties. You
Okay.
can't, because they.
I understand that, I'm just saying,
we're just really going down to see,
Back
to look at some of the wind farms and see what we can, investigate.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would say that any discussion with any other commissioners and/or personnel, if you will, would be nothing less than open public information.
Yes.
Is that correct? I would say, do you guys feel like?
Sure. Sure.
So any other questions there?
Just one more
Spencer.
comment for Pratt County, the two projects that we have there, one really just wrapped up construction, the other one's been in operation. So just, I'm sure the commissioner will let you know which one is which. The one on the west side, that's the one that just completed construction at the end of 2018. The one on the east side of the county, that's the one that's been in operation for a while. So you'll be able to see the one that's been there, as well as there'll probably still be some cleanup work happening at the one that just wrapped up. You'll be able to see, probably the laydown yard will still be there. So you'll get an idea of kind of how that works as well.
Great. Okay, thanks, Spencer.
Spencer, is the west one the one that has the 2,500 foot setback, those two? Or is it the east one?
West.
The west one, okay. And did you ever get that map to Mr. Neal of that project, as Dennis requested?
For Pratt, I don't believe so. I don't know if Michael.
Yeah, I don't know if we have or not, but if there's something that Mr. Neal needs, just let us know, we'll get it over to him, or we'll forward it to the county to get to him, so that he has it, so that's not gonna be a problem.
Well, we just had talked about.
Yeah, we've
looking
been
at that.
asking for that map of Pratt.
Oh, you want the project layout for Pratt?
Yeah, the actual completed project, the one that has the 2,500 foot setback. Yeah.
The one other question I have, is it USC, the business over on 75 Rangers? Isn't that what they call that?
Right.
W Road.
On W Road.
Right.
It's out in the country, it's rural. What is your position on them businesses? They employ, I'd say 70 to 100 people, and, I've had questions about it, or are you respecting their rights as a business owner in rural Nemaha County? Much the same as the airport, Heinen's airport business.
I guess, from a standpoint of a land use or, compatibility issue, if there was something in that business that, would be impacted by our wind farm, we should know that, and trying to coexist with the community is our goal. So if there's something we need to be aware of, please let us know. We can plan accordingly at this point in time.
Off W Road, you said?
Yes,
What is it that they do?
it's about
4 miles south.
4 miles south of
36.
36.
What do they do?
Seed handling equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be an issue, but we'll, definitely take that into consideration and look at what we're doing. If they're gonna have a huge expansion or whatever else, 1,000 acres or something like that, if they've got test lots, whatever.
I don't have anything else.
Tim, anything, any other questions by, we really don't have much today by way of update. Whoop.
I came in a little late. When are you anticipating the term sheet? That's up in there.
I think it's
We're
in
still-
negotiation right now, so.
Right.
Have you guys discussed how long the public notice period will be after the term sheet comes out?
Haven't talked about that yet, but
Or is it?
when that gets presented in open public information, I don't know, we don't know.
What do you feel is adequate?
Yeah, good question.
I mean,
Would it be appropriate to handle it like a normal planning and zoning, since the conditional use permit, even though we basically said it's a fictional make-believe document because we don't have planning and zoning, but should you follow the rules of that?
but I would say, well, we gotta publish it for the public meeting, so that's at least gonna be 2 weeks, and I think we
Right.
gotta publish it twice, probably. Do we have to publish it twice?
Well,
or
you
once?
don't have to publish, but it's still a good idea to do so.
We will.
I think for planning and zoning, changes in planning and zoning do have to be.
I think it'd be a 20-day, right?
If this was, I mean, if that's what was
And-
being adopted, it
and
wouldn't be, but-
notification to all landowners within so many feet of the affected area. But we don't know what the affected area is, right?
Well,
That's correct.
You're still waiting.
That's correct. So
That's part of the negotiation that we've got to come down to, and I
mean,
know that,
I realize the conditional use permit's not a real document, but we're pretending it is, so I would think you would want to follow those rules at the very least.
we'll do everything we can to get word out, put it that way. And we might even use a landline phone. Anything else?
Do you want this is just a question so that because I've gotten asked this, do you want the citizen pilot committee to do anything after the term sheet is out or not? You don't have to answer that now, but I've been asked whether that committee would have any involvement at this next phase, and I didn't know the answer, so I thought I'd ask.
Well, any information concerning such would be entertained.
Well, I mean, I'd have to reconvene the committee.
I
to do
see.
that, which I'm sure they'd be happy to reconvene, but I guess since this committee serves at you guys' pleasure, I kind of wanted to know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to reconvene, I'd like to be able to notify them somewhat in advance, kind of, to get ready. But-
We're hopeful to have a number, I guess I can say, concerning the pilot agreement soon.
Okay. Well, you guys can think about that, and I don't have to know right now.
Right.
So you're discussing whether or not the commissioners would want the input of that committee.
Correct. After the term sheet comes out.
After the term sheet is presented, but before when any decision is made.
That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, that,
And the answer is yes, I believe. Is that correct?
I think that's what we originally talked about. I
so.
think that's still,
Well, I'll alert them at least, and then
That,
we can, and I think what I would ask is that one of you be able to meet with the committee, as we did before. Dennis met with us the previous time, so I don't
Okay.
matter which one of you, but. one.
Right, okay. Well, keep us informed,
Okay, I
Galen.
will.
We'll, yeah. Yeah.
the, another kind of an open question, and that is, I've had 3, I didn't say a lot, of 3. I had 3 calls that concerned how Westar could sell power when we don't have an agreement. And they're saying we've already got a done agreement. We do not have a done agreement. Okay? But the way I understand it, they have to, Westar, has a process that they go through, that if this thing works and everything is there, they've got to prove that they've got all this power sold, that they're just not buying it to just put out there and hopefully somebody will buy it. But so, just for my purposes of that, I think the reason that they're doing that is more for a lender agreement with not only, I suppose, NextEra and the power companies, but it is
There's this couple
some of the steps that they have to go through, preliminary steps. Much like if you was buying a farm, you don't just go out and write the check and then go talk to the banker.
So it's not quite like you selling my tractor that I haven't traded in yet.
Right, that's right.
I think it was explained as a power purchase agreement where they agree that if you have power from this project, they agree to purchase it.
Correct.
But I know that, and of course, there's another article this week in 11, and we've had Washburn and K-State and everybody else that's buying power, but you know, and we've asked, or people have been asking, they said, well, are we just spinning our wheels? You know, and I say no. It's frustrating, but that's the wheels, that's the way the process is working.
Still in the process of negotiating on several different issues. Other questions and or comments? Hearing none. You folks are more than welcome to stay.
I'll come back up at noon.
Probably ought to.
Okay.
Brad,
I'll do that.
if you don't mind.
Should I let the sheriff know that you're?
Well, yeah, well, let's see, it's 10 o'clock, yeah.
Wait till
I'll go let him know.
make our,
Gary, I have kind of a logistics question again. As you can tell, none of us quite know when to come for these discussions. And I understand you guys kind of don't know because your conversations with Mr. Neal kind of shape how it goes. Should we just all show up at 9 so we go?
Well, I certainly don't want to tell you no,
Right, I
but in
understand.
this case, you know, without more information, we
Well,
can't.
last week we were told that it would start at 10, so I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I understand there's fluctuation in it, but.
I see,
you know.
okay. And we were started earlier today, okay, well,
Right.
yeah, apologize for that, again, we didn't know.
now next week is a holiday.
Right.
So we'll meet on Tuesday.
22nd, and we could maybe try to
We'll try and-
standardize that, if you will, so
Try and
that
find
you
that
guys
time.
do know.
Okay.
And,
Problem today was Mr. Neal took him a half hour just to get out of his cul-de-sac, in his area in Kansas City, couldn't get out, so that's the reason he decided not to make the trip up, so we had to phone, and which only lasted a half hour, which I think if he'd have been here, we'd have had an hour, I'm sure of that.
that, and really didn't have a lot to discuss.
Right, thank you.
Mr. Coleman, did you have anything?
Nothing, I'm here for information.
Yep.
And setting a precedent with the tie, of course.
I just wanted to stick in.
You,
Well, there is other issues, you know, when you get into the agreement, actual agreement, and again, we'll have to talk to NextEra whether they specifically sort out part for the school districts, or whether they leave that up to us. But I think as one commissioner, would like to have some input on how that should be split out among the 3 school districts in Nemaha County.
And find out if it's gonna affect their funding.
Well, and we
If
still
any
haven't got
research has been
an,
done.
we haven't got an approval from the state of Kansas where they say that it's not gonna affect them one bit.
Yeah.
The approval, but I'll tell you, we've read some articles that are pretty contradictory. You know, I mean, it just, who reads it and how they interpret it, but if we get a bunch of money, and let's just say we get money and it goes through, you know, there's a lot of things that you gotta look at, because otherwise there you set, and then all of a sudden, you gotta make a decision in a short time, and we don't like to have to get in that situation.
Yeah, because where does it go? How much needs to go to the schools?
Do you go by students in
What
Nemaha
townships
County and
get what? Because
each
what
district,
townships?
you know, where they are, Matt?
Had you considered using the money in the areas that the windmills are actually placed in? Does it have to be split across the whole county?
Well, yeah, we've considered that, and the question with that is, Gary, if I may.
Sure, yeah.
The question with that is we have not got it straight from the Nemaha, or from the state of Kansas. Okay, let's say this windmill thing goes through and increase our appraisal value of Nemaha County valued land of what, 300, let's say $300 million. Let's say it increases our values in Nemaha County by 300 million. When the state looks at that increase in valuation, are they going to penalize our school districts because of that? Is that a safe way to say that? And that's what we don't have an answer to. You know, our people in Topeka are telling us one says yes and one says no, and right now they're saying that this 300 million doesn't affect our appraisal values because it's really not there, but it is here. So I don't know. That's where, you know, we've got some questions there that we got to get answered, and we're kind of got some wheels rolling from back in my term in that.
We have some examples of what other counties have done with that. It's of course, we all know there's many different taxing districts, and we're one of them with, I mean, there's just the whole plethora of stuff, fire, ambulance, cemetery. I mean, so that's a difficult, so we're still gathering information on what others have done, and we're still, it's a work in progress also.
But see, you know, like when the pipelines went through, that was pretty easy because it stayed assessed, and that value is in them townships that it goes through, and the school districts that it goes through. We don't have anything to do with it. It's done, cut and dried. Well, is it fair to the rest of the Nemaha County that we got 4 or 5 townships that are rich because of that, where the other townships are struggling? You know, but if they're going to throw the money in our general budget, what system should we adopt? How should we, you know, it's just not, you know, we could say, yeah, let's just go where it's at and that's it. You know, well, you know, then you're going to pick out maybe 8 or 10 townships, or 2 or 3, whatever it happens to be, and they're the ones that's going to reap the benefits, and everybody else in the county, but the whole county is one, as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's the county, not 1 township or 2 townships or 3. We are a county unit, and I think we need to be together myself, but that's my opinion.
And it's to muddy the waters, a wind turbine in this case that's tax exempt for the lifetime is different than a turbine that's built after 1/1 of 17, in that it's only exempt for 10 years. So that's a different animal too, if you will. You know, is that up to us to decide what happens to those that are taxed on year 11?
That'll be
And
state assessed then.
Because once it
That
goes
will
to
be just
that,
like the pipeline. It'll come across the state assessed, so it just all falls into place.
that will
It'd be a
all
whole
fall.
lot simpler if we didn't have that lifetime exemption, wouldn't it?
It would,
It would
take
be.
another step out of the agreement.
I had been lying to people and blaming Governor Sebelius. It was not her, it was Governor Bill Graves who did that. He took office in 1/1 of 94. So anyhow, it was done, and we're dealing with it.
Got some good emails this week. Didn't count them up, probably 8 or 10. Good information from all of them.
Dennis, your comment, I want to make sure I understand it, what your comment about it, when these become assessed, how do you handle them? If any one of these communities were seeking building new housing developments just outside of Seneca or Sabetha or Century, wherever, are you spreading that all across the county? Or does it just lie within the township or city that was built?
It lies within that district.
So why is it really any different? That's what I'm wondering.
I'm not sure I'm following.
Well,
He's talking
if
about.
you are going to do an example, be the pipeline, we didn't, that's state assessed, okay. This is not gonna be state assessed, per se, it could be, who knows? Say right now it's not gonna be. Well, my view would be wherever they're placed at, that's where the revenue should stay. Just like it would if it's now. We'll break it out ourselves then, if that's what we have to do. If the money gets thrown in our lap, then if we're gonna break it out, it should be broken out according to the way the rules are today. As, I think I'm following what you're saying.
Why wouldn't it be? I just.
Yeah, I don't think it should be split amongst the whole, part of it will be anyway, because part of it's gonna be our own. Just like it is with the pipeline, the county gets money from the pipeline also. The townships do, the school districts do. I agree the same thing as you're saying. I think it needs to stay where if these towers go up, it ought to go right there.
Okay, but if the appraisal, if the towers go up in South Nemaha County where we have 2 school districts that are not involved at all, and if it affects their funding,
We'll know that.
you know, if it's gonna affect their funding,
I
why
agree.
shouldn't they get some of the benefit of this if it's gonna affect them?
We're gonna find out. Well,
That's what
if
we
that
have.
does, then we'll have to make a determination, exactly. If it doesn't affect them, then I don't have a problem doing it the way we always do.
Yeah.
But it could, so we need to get that answered.
But first question is all the money is gonna, if it goes through, everything happens, and we get a pilot agreement, the money's gonna be dumped right here in our lap. And it's our job to distribute it, keep it, do whatever we wanna do. There's several counties have just kept it and put it in the general fund, and that's where they've stopped. Now,
Well, and you make a good comment there. I'd challenge any other district that's dropped 10 mills out of their levying in the last 4 years like we have.
yeah,
And I look at that way. You know, they want their hands opened up. If we get money put in our lap, we took out $1.7 million out of our budget in the last 4 years. Next year, 19, this year, we could have had 1.7 more million.
I can show you a few places that might be able to use this.
Well, and that's true, but you know, I feel like our budget is big enough, per se, you know, so I wonder how many other entities have taken 10 mills out of their budget. And to be correct, it's probably just a short 10 mills. It may be 9.8, but it's right there.
right there. Good job, Tim. But there are questions we're trying to get answered. And
Yeah. I think the biggest one, Dennis, is the one that you just said about the school districts. Will it affect? Because if we tie on $300 million our evaluation, it will. They'll take the 25% away from them. Our understanding, and it's preliminary, that it will not, but then you hear from other deals, so we'll get that ironed out. We're gonna leave you out in the cold.
It will not affect us, I guarantee.
Well, it would affect you if you took the 25% away from you, though.
But we don't get state aid anyway, as
Oh.
a district. 115 gets 0 state aid. So if our assessed value goes up, we're gonna get less of 0. Now, the other 2 districts do get state aid.
They do.
Yeah.
Can you give me the reason why you don't?
Assessed value per pupil,
Oh.
that's what it's based on. And our assessed
I
value
did not
per
know that.
pupil is high enough that we do not. And that's USD 115.
Okay.
I can't speak for 113 or for 380. Will not speak for them.
Okay, that's fine.
Our assessed value, part of it is the pipeline.
Okay, that went through, there's a couple of them went through Northern.
That increased ours. Our assessed value is at $88 million right now. So if you take that, divided by our student population, that gives you an assessed value per pupil.
And see, you got hit with that totally. That was like a $20 million jump.
The first year, actually.
Mhm.
which.
That's the first year I came too. That was kind of a nice
It's
little
enough.
boon for the county
Better
also.
than going the other way.
But their assessment has kind of stayed steady
It
on
has.
that pipeline. I mean, that's one good thing.
But yeah, I don't know what the answer, I want to be clear that I don't know the impact that has. But I would tell you, I don't know if you're talking to Dale Dennis or not, but Dale Dennis would be the one who knows more about school finance than anybody else at the State Department.
Dale Dennis.
Yeah, he's the Deputy Commissioner of Finance for the State Department of Health. I can get you his contact information.
Appreciate that.
I will. I'll send it to you, Dennis, if that's all
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Yep. This isn't the first county, so they have to know. They have to know how it's going. This isn't the first school districts that are getting this, so I would tell you that he probably can answer that question for you.
Anything else? Is there a guy out there with a gun yet, or is he, okay, did he get invited, Mary Kay? Did he?
Brad was gonna tell him.
Brad, yeah, okay, well, I'm just,
I'll call over and make sure he knows.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
thanks for coming.
No problem.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Mark.
Hi Cassandra, this is Mary Kay over at the clerk's office. Just calling to see if Rich would be available to speak to the commissioners. Okay.
I don't think some of these people were here, but we are going to take a trip tomorrow to Pratt and Reno County to visit wind farms tomorrow as a commission.
You guys will.
Pratt and Reno. Yeah, okay. I think Emmett might have left, he might not have been here, but
Well, it's the same basic idea as the other ones.
Well, there's some things in there.
yeah, I went through that one the other day. South side of the road mainly, I think, on 36. I don't know if there was any on the north side, but I noticed quite a few on the south. Crossed I-80, I went across I-80 too, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in Iowa.
Ignorance is bliss.
And more going. We are gonna take a trip tomorrow to Pratt and Reno County just to visit wind farms down there. I don't know if were you here
Hi Rich, this is Mary Kay.
when we talked about that? I
How are
don't
you
think
this
you might
morning?
not have been.
Hey, do you have time to come over and do your report now? or-
Right, east of St. Joe,
All right, we're ready.
cab one.
Thanks.
Nothing wrong with that.
Cameron there in DeKalb County or
You ain't gonna
whatever.
plant
I went through there a couple weeks ago. And across I-80, I mean, they're all over.
You bet.
The sheriff is on his way.
Okay.
Have you guys given any thoughts to how far you're going to set back the distances from these wind turbines if they indeed come in from people's homes, especially from non-participating?
Currently under discussion and negotiation.
Because, I mean, I'm guessing you guys have seen a lot of research as well as, everybody else here has, and that's pretty important.
Absolutely.
If you're too close, there's a lot of negative cost impact.
It's one of the issues we are
That
dealing
kinda
with.
got me. I didn't like that. They got people brainwashed, don't they?
They do, is that the letter?
No, that's one of our primary deals, is we're trying to protect homeowners' rights. And
Yeah,
that's, how far can we go?
I mean,
That's,
from what I've read, they say nobody, absolutely nobody should live within a mile and a quarter of a wind turbine. And they say farther back is way better.
They is, you know, then you turn right around.
We did that last week, yeah. So, Tanya, and who do you believe is
I think the
pretty wide?
industry standard is set by the
Watch out,
wind
this smoke
company.
coming this Friday.
I understand.
State's
It's gonna be
supposed
more
to
than
be
what it was.
Well, you'd think industry
30
standard
mile an hour
would have an
inches of
input
snow.
from the
That ain't
government.
Yeah,
So,
it's
You know,
really
from
nasty.
state.
The ditches are full and they're not
I
gonna be
don't
held
know.
down.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I mean,
Right,
you
so
know, I
that right
think
now,
too,
that's
there's
my
got
major
to be
concern.
some
What's
type of
going on is
reason
it's gonna be
that
this
the
coming
wind companies
weekend.
put gag orders on people who signed a contract for this line.
Yeah, we've got,
Pratt and Reno County.
that's gonna be a,
Like I said, I really don't have much there, maybe weekend.
you know, you've got participating, non-participating, and then you've got non-participating homeowners and non-participating landowners.
Congratulations.
See,
Swearing in.
so,
Yeah,
you know, you got
No big
homeowner
deal,
and
just telling the sheriff that it
non-participating
wasn't at 10 o'clock like it always is, it was at 9 o'clock, so my apologies for missing the vote, but, probably.
Have you seen any of the
Along without me
research
anyway,
done by
so.
Dr. Mariana Alves?
I don't have much
Herrera?
else,
She did a 30-year research
everything else is
project
pretty much
on the effects
riding
of infrasound.
above water anyway.
And
So,
there's a
okay.
video out there.
What do you
I've
do
seen it,
to
and
prep
I've watched
for
it.
the storm?
And she did 30
I'm
years
probably gonna talk to
research on the
Russell.
effect of it.
He
She said
probably
for
ought to
years,
make some phone calls. I don't know
I
if
don't
there's
know
gonna
where
be
she's
any ice
from,
with
but
it,
I
but he
know
ought to
she's
probably make
got
some
a
phone
list
calls,
of
maybe put a few
credentials
generators on
her
board,
own.
that type of thing.
And
I mean, I hate to jump the gun and start
Dr.
calling.
Mariana,
But, I'll talk with him a little bit.
Alves,
We'll break out a little four-wheel drives
A-L-V-E-S,
for the weekend, but if
Herrera,
it's actually 10 inches of snow and 30 mile an hour winds,
P-E-R-I-R-A.
four-wheel drives ain't gonna do no good.
Well, it'd be impossible.
So, which
And I
brings
watched a
out
video of
the,
hers where
I
she
may make,
presented this
we haven't had to
30
do
years
this
of
for a few
research to a
years.
bunch
I
of
may make a couple of
medical
phone calls, see
bills.
if some guys got some
And
wheels.
she said for years they've wondered,
that we could
does
possibly use in case
infrasound
of a
really
problem.
affect people?
It's been a
And
long
she
time, we
says,
used to have
now
to
I've
do
got
medications and
proof
stuff like
to
that to
prove
people on
that it does,
snowmobiles, but
and I've got the
I don't even know if
proof
anybody
to
still
prove how
got
it
it.
does.
But I'll try to make some.
So I mean, it's
I know
no
the
longer a
Stowboys down
question
in, of course,
if
they're
it
in Orange
does.
County,
She's
but-
got the
Who,
proof
the
that it
Stowboys?
does.
Yeah, that ain't gonna do me much good over there.
And make sure it's fueled up and ready to go.
what time you guys wanna leave in the morning?
How long will it take us to get there?
Hutchison, I'd say 3 hours, 10 minutes.
That's pretty precise, 3 hours and 10 minutes.
I was hoping for 3 hours and 15.
I was hoping for 3 hours and 19 minutes.
Well, I think 6 o'clock probably about
Yeah.
the right time, or, you
I'd
know,
say a little before 6.
Yeah,
before.
be
I would
rolling
say
by
we ought to
6,
probably
yeah.
Okay.
And
be
you
here at
come,
5:30.
you
I'm
come,
planning
Dennis?
on it.
Yeah, great, okay.
I'd say we
Great.
get here by 5:30 and get loaded up and hit the
Okay.
road.
Okay.
That way if we have to stop, why,
I talked to Glenna well, she emailed me when did she, Sunday morning, I think she sent that to me. And I replied to her, she just wanted to confirm, and I told her I'll probably call her when we get done here and confirm. And thanks for doing the Reno County, by the way, Dennis. That
well, I
was
just
great.
happened to, I was talking to a guy and he says, I'm telling you, you need to talk to this guy. You know, and, you know.
Well, I hope we can talk to several, you know,
So,
and, just get a feel.
Well, and Glenn asked me, posed the question, you know, who all do we want to hear from? And I said, I don't care.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Anybody that-
We
Anybody
need,
wants to talk.
we need everything. Don't.
well, your land, your
discriminate.
road people, you know, it'd be nice to hear from them.
Right.
You know, but,
So okay. You don't think Dwight can come? I'll talk to him.
I don't think Dwight.
We would have room for him if he decided 3, 4, 5, and 6. We've got so, hi Russell.
How's it going?
All right, well, nothing else. Can our discussions on a pilot agreement with NextEra be done in executive session?
Directly with them,
No,
just the negotiations themselves?
amongst 3 commissioners.
No, because you're not purchasing property. Those negotiations could be if you're purchasing real estate, but just regular negotiations, no.
Okay,
Now, if you're involving an attorney to negotiate terms of a contract or agreement, yes. So you could, with me or with Mr. Neal, you can, but just the 3 of you, no, that had to be done in public session.
okay,
Brad, how would that, with an attorney present,
That's what it looked like Sunday
commissioners are
or
declined,
Saturday.
next era is not, how would
Joe
that
was down
fit
there.
the
He
executive
took a
session?
picture.
Well, if next era is,
Joe Kelsey.
yeah, if NextEra is involved in the negotiations directly, if they're sitting at the table, then attorney-client privilege would not be
Okay,
invoked,
that's
and
what I-
therefore it would not be.
Is that what you were asking here? I'm not,
I mean, if we had Mr. Neal here, and me here, and NextEra here with their attorneys, then no, that would not be proper
No.
for executive session.
Right. No, I'm just wondering, our initial discussions, we three commissioners on some type of number.
Yeah, if you're having those discussions, just the three of you, those would have to be an open public session.
Mm-hmm,
If you're having those discussions with either myself or Mr. Neal, then those discussions would be covered by attorney-client privilege.
See you.
Spencer, nice to see you, thanks for coming. Okay,
Tuesday.
we'll be
same time?
Tuesday next week, yeah.
Okay. And then the two items from us are the boundary and then the Pratt layout, right? That's what we talked about. Is there anything else?
Yes.
Density?
Density.
Yes, the footprint, yeah,
Right,
then
with the
then
density
can
study.
proceed with the density study, yeah.
Yes, sir.
The
Okay.
footprint
Yeah.
would help us with the density.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Okay,
Got it. Thank
all
you.
right, thanks Spencer, see ya.
See ya.